Alright, welcome to the second episode of the special quarantine season of 7 Million Bikes. We have a special guest here today. She's all the way from Ukraine. She flew in from Australia, especially to join us in quarantine. We're going to welcome Anastasia Sokyrka. Sokyrka.
That's correct.
There you go. So Anastasia is in quarantine with me and Adrie. We have got very lucky somehow. There's only 3 of us in this room.
Shh, don't tell anyone.
Don't tell anyone. No, I mean, I don't think we're the only people. And we talked to some people. Maybe some people think that foreigners get treated differently. We've not seen that to be the case because we know other foreigners that are in a room of like 5, 6 and 7. We've not been treated any differently. If anything, we seem to get forgotten about and we get less stuff than anyone else. But I think that's just by accident, not by design. In the room, it's quite a big room. We all socially distance from each other within the room. We basically just stay in our own corners all the time. At the moment, we've moved a little bit closer, so we're about 1 meter away from each other, but we actually all have face masks on at the moment. So we are trying to be as safe as possible. So if you listen to the last episode we made, we told you all about Adrie and my drama getting from New Zealand back to Vietnam, and then Anastasia, before we tell everyone what life's like in quarantine, do you want to give a brief explanation of how did you end up in quarantine?
Yeah, sure. Hi everyone. So my name is Anastasia. The short name is Nasta in the Ukrainian way. I live in Vietnam for 5 years already. I have been in Australia for a business trip sent by my company. I work in the hospitality industry. Due to the closing the borders and situation getting more tough, I was coming back urgently to Vietnam. Same as the guys, I have temporary resident card, labor contract and rent apartment for 2 years. So suppose that I should arrive normally and smoothly, however things went differently. We ended here for 2 weeks, today day number 9. So I'm Ukrainian, but I am kind of Vietnamese for 5 years.
So give a little bit of a background, because we explained. So when did you get to Australia, and what were your thoughts about being sent on a business trip at that time, considering what was going on in the world?
Yeah, so I was sent by a company. We have a company registered in Sydney. So in the worst case scenario, I knew that I will be covered by a company in Australia. I was very close in touch with the head office in Hanoi, checking whether I should go before my trip, and I got confirmation, yes, you go. And then when I was in Sydney and situation get more and more worrying, I check in with them daily basis. What should I do? Should I come back or should not? They asked me to stay. If there is a worse situation, you prolong there for 2 weeks more and then you come back. And then when I knew that the flight will be cancelling and Australia is locking down the borders for 6 months, I request emergency return and the company check and confirm that I can come back. So when I was coming to Australia at a business trip, I was excited because it was my first time in Sydney, trip of my dream. But at the same moment, I knew that situation may went wrong. However, I had the people covered both in company and my friends. So kind of, I had no choice, but I was like excited in the same moment.
So what date did you fly to Australia?
I arrived on 15, it was Sunday morning, and I flew back on Friday 20.
Yeah, it's only 5 days, and how long was the trip meant to be?
2 weeks.
Wow. And then explain, what did you say to me about all your meetings and everything that you had planned?
Yeah, so we had a schedule booked for 2 weeks, meeting potential partners for the hospitality, for travel agencies. And the schedule was quite busy. However, day by day, Australia trying to help their people understand the quarantine is important. So we have many meetings rescheduled from offline to online. I had to cancel traveling in Australia to Melbourne and Perth. So we moved all the scheduled online calls, but even that calls suddenly started to be cancelling because my partners, they were not sure whether they have a job next day, and they were massive busy with the cancellation of the packages and everything that we are dealing with in the work. So basically there was nothing to do as a business. So, and I was happy to stay in Australia as long as I can, having the company backup, but I understand that I residence in Vietnam. If I stay in Australia, I had to find a way how to legalize myself there. It's more painful, I think, than Vietnam. So I had a scenario 50-50 that may end in the quarantine, but as I checked with the company, they say you should be fine because you're resident and you have a working permit.
So when you were traveling back, your company, you thought there's a 50% chance that you would get to go home?
My own
quarantine at home?
Yeah, but I thought it was not by company, it was my own feeling.
Right, okay.
That I can get in quarantine 50%, and then 1 hour before the flight, I already knew it would be 90%.
I think we were about 90% for a couple of days, or a while, but we were okay with that. So I unravelled pretty quickly then.
Yeah.
So we first met you, kind of what Adrie was saying yesterday, we all got ushered over to the immigration desk as soon as we went to the quarantine, or we went to the health check. And I saw that you had a form. Do you want to explain about your medical form as well, similar to our experience?
So I knew that I need to fly from Sydney night before. I was not able to make an amendment of my original ticket because it was fully booked already. So I had to buy a new flight in Jetstar because originally I was supposed to fly Vietnam Airlines. And that was night when already all hospitals and clinics closed, so I couldn't get to check what is the medical certificate because I saw there was a request about medical certificate. So no choice, I had to go to the airport in the morning. I arrived a little bit earlier and it was actually a good decision because I couldn't check in on the flight. I was rejected. They said that I need to have a medical certificate. And luckily in the airport they have a medical center, so I have been sent there. I visited the doctor, paid for that $90. And I asked him save my life because I basically need to come back somewhere. I can't come back to Ukraine, my border's closed. I need to come back to Vietnam, I can't stay in Australia. So he was very calm. I think it was not the first person asking something like that. He asked me a similar question, how long have you been here? Have you feel any fever? Have you been contacting anyone? Check my temperature, check my nose, throat, just visually. And then he might write me the letter that I have no symptoms, I haven't been in contact for 2 weeks with anyone, and I'm fit to fly. Basically, the certificate stated I'm fit to fly. I asked if I can get tested for coronavirus. They say no one in the country, in Australia, will make it for you. You've never been in the contact, you don't have a symptom, so you cannot request even if you pay money. I told him that I was in overseas just 5 days ago, so it's one criteria I meet. Say, no, you need to have a fever and other things, so nobody in Vietnam, in Australia will give you that COVID test. So anyway, I get the medical certificate fit to fly, went to check-in desk again, they confirmed me that I should be fine. The guys at the check-in counter, they also not sure because Vietnamese regulation pretty confusing. They have like 20 pages of policy in this case, and in 5 minutes they were trying to find whether my certificate is okay or no. Because it's not stated anywhere that I need the COVID test. Is really we found out when we arrived. In the policy that airlines get from Vietnam authority, they were fine to check me in for medical certificate that I'm fit to fly. So that is also minus 10 points to Vietnam government in this situation. Because basically around 10 people arrived foreigners on that flight, and we originally were intended to be sent back. But airlines checking us, so they put also in the risk airlines. I think there's somebody need to cover the cost to sending us back because we don't pay for the ticket.
Yeah, I didn't understand at that point when we mentioned in the last episode how we saw that the boarding passes
they're already printed
had been printed, right? And I was like, how? Like, who's paying for this? Like, is it the airline?
Yes.
Are we paying for it? Like, we're just about to get packed back onto a plane. But I think what this just highlights is these are just our story and your story is just two stories worldwide of people just being trapped, situations changing. Like you just mentioned, you couldn't fly back to Ukraine. We're from different countries. There's so many people around the world, I'm sure, have very similar stories where they were traveling or in a different country
I don't know if we mentioned, but obviously we talked about that we went to New Zealand for a wedding. We had family that got trapped in New Zealand for a bit. We have family that are still kind of trapped there, for want of a better word, who live in Australia, but now at the moment they're just staying in New Zealand. So I know some people say we should have expected this, or why did you travel? Because we did a AMA and we've had some feedback as well from people, and I think like just nobody really expected like this to happen this quickly, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's also unprecedented. Like, that's the word you keep using.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing to refer to on this scale, and like the sheer speed at which things have changed in the last 2.5 weeks.
Because we were talking today, we've lived through SARS and we've lived through MERS, but like that is not even comparable to what's happened right now. So we're going to go back to the story and we're going to give you an update on what life is like in quarantine. We're not going to give you a day-by-day blow because every day is the same. There's not really much to tell there, and we can't tell what was 3 days or 5 days ago. I said something to someone, I was like, oh yeah, this happened 2 days ago, and Adrie was like, that was this morning. But so we left off, we got bussed to quarantine. We met Anastasia, well, we kind of bumped into you at immigration. We hadn't really started talking to you yet. And then Adrie, take it from there. So the bus driver got lost, which was just absolutely comical. And then we got into the quarantine facility. So Adrie, what happened next? What time was it as well?
Yeah, well, so our bus was just one of a handful of buses that had left the airport around the same time, all coming to the university dorms. We pulled up, when our bus driver finally found the right place to go, we pulled up to one of the dorm buildings, and it must have been, by this point, 1 or 2 in the morning by the time we actually got here. We pretty much just sat on the bus waiting for some further direction as to what to do, and as the buses in front of us were offloading and getting disinfected and checking in and stuff, the building eventually filled up. So we all were told to go back on the bus, and then the bus moved around to another building, at which point they started to offload us. It was a little bit confusing. No one really knew what to do apart from get off the bus and get your bags.
There was nobody, I think we maybe mentioned, I don't know if we mentioned this yesterday, even since we've been here, there's been nobody like that's in charge as far as we can tell. Like there's nobody, like there's no contact person, there's no, even when you look about, there's nobody that looks like they're in charge.
There's no one with a clipboard.
Yeah, that's what we need.
Walking around directing us what to do and where to go.
If you saw someone with a clipboard and a high-vis vest, they would be the highest ranking person here. I think, have we got a clipboard? Maybe I'll just start walking around with it and people will start asking me questions. But anyway, so we got ushered into the building.
Yeah, it was a little bit, I wouldn't say completely disorganized, but it was clear that, as we had read in the media, that the buildings had only very recently been cleared out. It was a bit, they're quite dirty. We were given a piece of paper to fill out. It was all in Vietnamese, so luckily some of the Vietnamese people that traveled could speak English and could translate for us. We
got hosed down.
Yeah, we got our bags disinfected, which was just like a combination of probably diluted bleach. So some people's clothes were instantly ruined.
Yeah.
And then, there was a few people in the kind of hazmat suits that were directing us and telling us where to go in terms of like what rooms to go into. And originally there was a 4th person, but they kept putting us into rooms that only had 3 beds. So he eventually got separated, and I don't know what became of him.
Yeah, we've never seen him since, have we? So it was all really chaotic because again, no one's really telling us what to do. I have to say that what amazed me was just everyone was just so calm. I don't know if it would be like that in the UK or America or Ukraine, but everyone just was chilled out, going with the flow, like this is what we have to do. We had one woman on our bus who was the definition of a self-entitled, obnoxious lady, who was almost like demanding to speak to the manager. And she was like, I have to expedite this. Why are we waiting? It's 4 a.m. And I had to try and talk to her and be like, lady, this, like, we're all being quarantined. I don't think she expected to be quarantined. So she was kind of like, why am I here? And it's like, you're going to be here for 2 weeks. So she stormed off and we've never seen her since. So I don't know. She either managed to get shipped out to a hotel or she's just hiding under her bed somewhere. So
Hope she's fine.
hope she's fine, yeah. Hope she's fine, but hope she's learned a lesson to not be so self-entitled and obnoxious. But anyway, right. So eventually the three of us got shipped into the room. Anastasia, tell us, what was the room like when we first arrived?
First, let me update on the timing because I have everything filmed. So we were on the bus. We still were in the airport at 1 a.m. when we get our first croissant, ham and cheese.
Oh, you're looking this up?
Yes, and then we were on the bus at 1:50 a.m. going to somewhere, and we haven't been told any address. I have a photo of address in Vietnamese that one Vietnamese asked the driver because they didn't tell us that before. 3:50 a.m. we were standing outside of our first building that we were never been inside because we were waiting and we were full. So 3:50 a.m. we were still not inside the room.
Yeah.
And the picture that I take with the room, with my bag inside here, was 5:40 a.m.
It didn't feel that late. Maybe because I'd slept on the plane on the way over. It didn't.
Yeah.
I don't remember feeling like tired or like. I just remember just, I don't know, waiting. But anyway, we got in the room eventually. 5:40 a.m.
Yes, and then it was nightmare. I saw some pictures of the quarantine facilities that Vietnamese put Korean, because the Korean nation were the first who were banned and requested to be quarantined. It was maybe 2-3 weeks before our happening. So they were already in social media complaining and showing conditions where government put the people who arrived from Korea. So I knew what we could expect, so I was a little bit shocked. But I was preparing for the worst. And then when they told us that it will be a uni-dorm, it sounded like maybe better than army camp.
That's what I thought when we heard there was going to be a uni dorm. I was like, oh.
Yes.
I was thinking of like.
And they sent us some articles, some Vietnamese friend. They sent an article from local media where they announced the decision of the government that the uni dorm will be used for the facility of the quarantine. And the picture they put there, it was like our classic European dorms with a mattress. So I was like, okay, maybe we're more lucky than Korean a few weeks ago. And then when we entered in the building on the first floor, we couldn't understand what is it because it's massive. And then when they took us upstairs and I saw the first open door, I saw exactly the same picture as I saw at the army camp. Same beds, same kids, if we can say that, with a military printed blanket, I don't know what is it, the bamboo mattress. Exactly same. So I was ready. I lost hope by that time already. So I just wanted to be sure that I stay either not the clean room, forget about it. But I saw two desperate foreigners, same as me, and I followed them because there was only one female except me, and then one called the boss lady. So I realized that for my survival, I need to follow the woman. And she attached to the man, which is okay. So yeah, and they show us few rooms, I think. I don't know what. The guy who was escorting us, he couldn't speak English, so he showed us few rooms. I think we stayed in one for a few minutes, and then he called us back again, and we moved to exactly the same crap room, the same floor.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we have one guy also. I think he's Japanese.
I think so. Yeah.
So we were 4 of us, and then they were trying to put us in one room because I think they thought that because we're together, we may be 2 couples. And then when they realized that there's only one married couple, and I'm just lonely soul, and I asked that guy, can I stay with them? And I very lucky, I don't know his name. He gave up, and I think he now in the room with 10 people or something like that. But he could stay with us only. But they took him away, and the guy, who was escorting us, I think he couldn't understand who we are, why we're 3 of us. He asked if you're married, so you say yeah, we're married. And then I asked him, well, can we stay together? And then he was looking like, what? And then I asked guys, are you okay with stay with you? They say yes. I don't know if you mean it, but you say yes.
No, we do.
And then the guy, he was confused. I mean, the Vietnamese guy, he was confused, and he just left us. 3 of us, and I think that was the luckiest moment
Yeah.
that so far we get.
Yeah, so there's nobody with 10 people in them. You mentioned a room at 10. I don't think there's anyone with 10. I think
Not here anyway.
not here
Not
in
in
this
our
facility.
building.
I think maybe most six
8.
here. We got really lucky, I think, just through the confusion, maybe because me and Adrie are married, I don't know, but first couple of nights we had heard that they were trying to add more people to other rooms, and we got really scared because, for one, we'd cleaned the place, we were, as I mentioned, self-isolating in the different corners of the room and staying away from each other, and then we didn't want some strangers coming in that we didn't know where they'd come from, we didn't know which flight they'd been on, and blah blah blah. So first couple of nights were a bit scary, but when we came in, so we got given a mosquito net,
Yeah.
we got given a camel blanket and a straw mat, and that was it.
No pillow.
No pillow,
No
which is just
tissues.
fine.
No mask.
Yeah, no
Nothing.
masks, no soap, no nothing.
I don't remember. Did they give us water on the first night or no?
I think there was water already here, those that
Big
blue
bottle,
bottle.
yeah.
So we got to sleep because we had to. It's like about this point 6 in the morning, and we
Yeah.
all just pretty much put our stuff down and passed out. I don't remember what time we woke up, but
I woke up 7 because the company people started to call me.
can we just add that Anastasia has had her company asking for sales reports, and why has she not got any new clients while she's sitting in quarantine and the whole world is closed down?
Yeah.
Especially to travel.
Yes, especially to travel. So that was the first night, first day. We were able to arrange some care packages, thankfully. We had so many people were just like from Anastasia's work, from our friends, just messaging like, what do you need, what can we get you? At that point, you could get stuff delivered. But again, we were told no information, like there was no... Apparently I've read and been told that you're meant to be appointed a translator. There's only about...
What?
Yeah, that's what... Someone told me, yeah. In other facilities, foreigners get appointed, not like an individual translator, but there's a translator available for the foreigners.
Oh.
So we think there's maybe at most 15 to 20 foreigners in this whole facility, and there's probably a few thousand people here. So there's not many of us. But we've just been told like nothing from day one, like zero information. So we just kind of figure it out ourselves, or we hear second-hand reports. So that first day, no one told us about deliveries, but we knew we could get them. So luckily Anastasia's work sent a couple of packages, we had friends sent them. We got cleaning supplies was the first thing we got. Everyone wanted to send us alcohol and booze, which we were just that we didn't really need, and we still don't need. We're not drank at all. And then day one we got down to cleaning. What was that?
Yeah.
We don't need to go through day by day, right? But we gave the place like a deep clean. If you follow me, or if you know me and you see my Facebook, you saw that we cleaned the fans. The fans were caked in dirt. It looked like they'd never been cleaned.
I don't think we did that till day 2 or 3.
Yeah, I think
actually.
so. But the place, so the students evacuated or were moved out of here the night before.
Yep.
But we don't think they were moved out of every room, because this room was so dusty and like had grime all over it. It didn't seem that anyone had been living here for months. So that was the first day, was just getting rid of grime and dirt before we even really could get down to cleaning. Or that first day we got pillows sent. That was the biggest thing. I would be struggling without a pillow.
Yeah.
I'd say we got lots of snacks sent. We got like power outlets we needed. And then since then, so Adrie, tell us then, we don't need to go through day by day, but what's life like in quarantine?
That's a very broad general question. Yeah, I mean, the days actually go by surprisingly quickly. It's a lot of first of all, we wake up in the morning. The first couple of days were a little bit less routine because the meals kind of came at random times. But since probably day 3, the meals have consistently come at about 6:30 in the morning. We get breakfast. We get a big knock on the door. Lunch comes about 11:30, and dinner comes about 4:30. And basically it's like, what do we do to fill in the time in between the meals? We clean quite often, at least every other day, after our big massive clean. We spend a lot of time on our phones and social media. We all have 4G, and the Wi-Fi is sometimes good, but without internet we'd probably go crazy.
Yeah, those first couple of days, I think the 3 of us were just communicating with the outside world. That we didn't really communicate with each other because we were just communicating with friends and family around the world, just updating people, figuring things out. So that was that was a bit weird, I think, almost. And then I remember on the second day, I had my one and only downtime. I started talking to some family on the phone and started to appreciate the seriousness of the situation. Now that we'd finally got back to Vietnam, we'd got into quarantine, then everything else on the outside world started really playing on my mind. Obviously job security, world economy, everything just got on top of me. So I had a bit of a down moment, and then I could sense that Anastasia, you were pretty much the same, right? I could tell that Anastasia looked like she'd just dropped. Adrie was fine, which was awesome. You were positive though. You didn't have that.
I think, as I said to you earlier today, I'm a bit numb. It's day 9. If we go back to the routine, every day, a significant portion of the day is spent reading news and updates, and that's pretty depressing. But, we're here, we're safe, we're relatively comfortable. It's really just about getting through this. And everyone around the world is having their own things to get through, so I don't think we're in a special situation. It's a unique situation for sure, and it's very surreal. Every bit of it, kind of if I pinch myself while I wake up, it seems like we're living, I wouldn't call it a nightmare, but it's completely, again, unprecedented. It's very strange. But I think the only way to get through it is just to keep going. Can't really be anything other than kind of positive.
Yeah, so I had that little bit of a down moment. I think Anastasia did as well. And then we came back up, so we check in on each other. We kind of right, how's everyone doing? We're just really lucky, like you said. we said yes even if we didn't want to. We were okay to say yes that you could share with us. We have lucked out, not only as the three of us, as you can probably hear from our conversation, we got on really well with Anastasia. We all kind of know when to shut up and just do our own thing and just stare at our phones or colour or read or whatever, watch a movie, and then at other times we would sit and have a laugh. If you follow any of us on social media, it probably maybe looks like we're having a better time than we actually are, because we only post the fun stuff. So we have done some random fun things. We made up our own bowling alley and out of old water bottles and things like that. But the majority of the day, that's a loud plane just went overhead. The majority of the day we are pretty much just staring at our phones. And I'm playing Words with Friends. I've been playing a lot of that.
There have been cockroach moments, very dramatic cockroach moments.
Yeah.
We have to.
7 cockroaches at one time.
I'm not complaining, but we have to hand wash our clothes. And the first couple of days we didn't have a basin to do it in, and
the shower doesn't work. There's not enough water pressure for the shower head, so it comes out the tap, which is at your knees, but doesn't come out the shower head. So we have to do the old scoop. We had to get a scoop delivered in a bucket. So yeah, even though we show that we have fun and we're not complaining and it's not a nightmare, the reality is we all sleep on a wooden bed. We don't have a proper shower. We have to hand wash our clothes. We're terrified that there's COVID on every surface.
I skip every second meal because I can't eat the food.
Yeah, Anastasia's fussier than the rest of us. So she got noodles delivered on the first day, a lot of noodles. So Anastasia is surviving on noodles. It's rice for every meal, which is actually, I'm okay with that. Rice is pretty good, but it's repetitive.
There's no aircon, so it's we're just pretty much sweating all the time.
Yeah. And we go out, me and Adrie will try and go out for a walk 2 or 3 times a day just to stretch our legs. And that's where it becomes the most surreal point, because there's quite a lot of people go out walking, but most people are social distancing from each other. No one talks to each other. We're in this university dorm. It's not a prison, but we can't leave. So I think overall we're not complaining, but we're looking forward to
number 14.
To a mattress. The thing is, though, I don't know for you guys. For me, I'm now getting to the point I'm going to be scared to leave because there's going to be another whole set of circumstances to deal with.
Vietnam is entering into lockdown since yesterday. So everything is closed except of the groceries and pharmacies. It may also, the down point and frustration reading the policy of the Vietnam local government saying that if there is confirmed case in your residence apartment, the whole building can be locked down, or even all residents may be sent to quarantine. So just thinking about going to something similar again, making me really very stressed.
Yeah.
And I was lucky to prepare some food in my fridge before I left Australia because I was assuming possibility of I will be quarantined at home for 14 days. So I'm not worried that I come back home now and how I survive having everything is closed. However, 1 week we still must to stay here. God knows what change. Situation is really unpredictable and you can't forecast anything. I'm not worried about toilet paper.
Well, toilet paper situation is amazing.
Yes.
We got Anastasia got some delivered on the first day, and then they brought us some. So again, in the beginning we got given nothing. They didn't give us any cleaning supplies. We had to use an old mop. Luckily, as I said, some cleaning supplies got sent from Anastasia's work, which she works in hospitality, and they sent like hospitality grade cleaning materials, which was good. After a few days, no one told us, we just saw like buckets and mops downstairs, and we were like, can we get some of these?
Maybe if we understand language, maybe we feel better and that we treated something normal. But having now isolation, I have more isolation in the information internally. Outside we know everything we're happening. But in this facility we have no information.
Yeah.
We're lucky we have a group chat with other foreigners and we have Vietnamese there who update us if anything happening. But is not have any better treatment, even more struggling because of language barrier. And we not complain. All of us live in Vietnam for a long time, so we're a little bit familiar with the culture and people mindset here. So the people were calm on the first day, I think because they all knew they will come to here. It was not shock for most of them. And even if it was shock for them, they are fine to accept because the system and the education and everything, their day-to-day life is basically do what you're told to do. So we a little bit different, but we are here for a long time, so we are not complaining and we accept the situation just from the moment that we were accepted to Vietnam. It was lucky enough to be inside the country, not sent back to Australia.
Yeah, and so just so you know as well, the majority from what we can see of the other inmates, not inmates, the other people that are here are Vietnamese students from overseas who obviously were trying to get back as soon as they can as the rules were changing, and then they were going to lock the borders to even Vietnamese citizens. So that's from what we can see is the majority of them. People here are Vietnamese students, lots of young people, as we said, maybe 20 foreigners at most. And so right, I think we've covered it all. Let's finish off with some questions. We're going to do firsts. All right, Anastasia, what's the first thing you want to drink when you leave quarantine?
Ice, water.
Adrie?
To drink?
Yeah.
Literally anything with ice. I'll take an iced coffee. I'll take a tiger with ice. I'll take water with ice. I'll take like a fresh juice with ice. I don't care. Just put some ice in it and I'll drink it.
Yeah. I think I'd be the same. Yeah. Anything, not an iced coffee though. We luckily we have lots of coffee here, and I'm not getting sick of coffee, but I just want something else. We drink only water or coffee or a vitamin C drink.
Vitamin C, yeah.
So I'd be the same. Just anything iced, and then after that. Yeah, cold beer would be good. I said to Adrie, I just want a cold frosty draft beer. And then she's like, all the bars are closed. I was like, I can't even get a draft beer when I get out. But that's alright. Alright, Anastasia, what's the first meal that you want to eat when you get
Anything vegetable or fruit, something fresh. I want some not cooked, not steamed, not boiled. Some fresh, cold vegetables or fruits.
Alright, Adrie.
I mean, this is gonna sound boring, but I like the same. I just want a salad, like with some fresh, raw, crispy vegetables and lettuce. Just a beautiful salad would be amazing.
I want some rice. No, I'm joking. I'm not sick of rice yet, but I might be in a few days. Well, I have to choose something different. I do kind of want the same. I want like a salad. I want fresh vegetables. I want cold tomatoes. I want like...
You could have a wrap instead.
A wrap, yeah. I'm gonna have a grilled chicken wrap with fresh salad. I'll do that. Oh, BLT. Oh, I'm getting hungry now. What's that? New York bagel? A jalapeno
yesterday
cheese?
I was craving
New York bagel?
Indian food, but I want to hold the rice though.
Yeah. Hold the yeah. What about the naan bread?
Yeah, I'll take the naan.
Take
hold
the
the
naan.
rice.
Alright, what's going to be the first thing you do when you get home, Anastasia?
Shower in hot water. I don't shower in cold water all my life. I need hot water. And my bed in mattress.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I've got a feeling this might be similar, but we'll go around anyway. Adrie.
Well, hopefully get smothered with slobber from my biscuit, my puppy, my dog.
Yeah.
And then after that, put on a load of laundry and then take a shower.
Yeah, and I'm probably the same as Adrie. Any other questions? Do you want to ask? Can you guys think of any questions? That's the only 3 I've got.
Yeah, okay, so despite the stuff that we received, which has been amazing, in our first 2 days before they banned deliveries.
Oh, we didn't say that. So they banned deliveries after 2 days because I think mainly lots of these overseas Vietnamese students' parents went crazy and sent them, like, we've seen pictures of sent mini fridges, AC units.
Yeah.
People, like, the first 2 days the deliveries just went crazy.
Yeah, then the local media got wind of it, and it was a shit show.
Yeah.
Like they should have shut it down. So rightly so.
Yeah,
luckily we got a few, essentials, but if there was anything else for
Then we could get
the next
delivered.
5 days, sorry,
Yeah.
what would you get?
I don't know. Fruit. We got fruit though. We got some oranges. Oh, yesterday they came and knocked on our door. It was really nice. We went to the door and they were like presents, and they were going around giving everyone a bag of fresh cold fruit, which we stupidly didn't eat right away, and then it wasn't cold anymore, which we were like, we should have eaten it cold. I actually don't know what else I would need. A mattress? Well, yeah. If we could still get delivery, I would have asked for someone to send a mattress. Yeah, that'd be my biggest thing. Anastasia.
Yes, I was lucky with the company sent me the pillow and kind of blanket from the hotel. So I would ask only for fresh fruits because I feel that we don't get enough nutritious from the food we get.
From white rice.
Yeah, from rice and meat and very limited steamed cooked vegetables which already don't have any nutritious inside. I would get some vitamins that is from, because Vietnam is blessed with vegetables and fruits and natural vitamins. So just a shame that we can't get it, and we take this supplement from the vitamin C, which make no support your system actually. Yeah, so I would say for some fresh vitamins from the vegetables and fruits.
Adrie, answer your own question.
So I've had the unfortunate luck that my headphones broke on day 2 or 3.
I had that.
And my flip-flops broke on day 4. So I don't need flip-flops, I MacGyvered that, but a pair of headphones would be pretty good.
Yeah.
I know that's entitled, but it would be kind of nice.
We've got bare necessities is the main thing, and I think we forgot to mention as well, we work out every couple of, me and Adrie walk a lot, and we've done some room workouts as well, so we're trying to stay fit, we're trying to stay healthy. I think we've all lost weight, so that's good. Alright, anything else to add, anyone?
List 5 positive things that you can take from this situation.
Oh, 5?
Yeah.
Okay, am I going first?
Yeah, go.
Alright, well, new friend
Mm-hmm.
is number 1. I'm struggling at it.
Really?
5 things positive from this? I mean, I'm just trying to think.
Want me to go?
Yeah, on you go. And
Okay.
I'll copy you.
Should we do collective 5?
Yeah, collective 5. 5 is a lot to think on your own.
Well, I think, which has been echoed through social media, that the volunteers or the people who work here, I don't know if they're volunteers or paid or what, but they're just incredible. If I had to be in their position doing that job, it would be not fun. But I think the appreciation, and as you can see, everyone around the world is appreciating the people that are on the front line helping, but like the deep appreciation being in this experience, if we were just in our apartments, like we wouldn't see this firsthand. And they come to our room with like a smile on their face, they give us the food, like they're just so nice. And
Well, they have a mask on, but we think it looks like they're smiling.
well, they're smizing with their eyes.
Smizing.
But yeah, I think the appreciation of the people who are on the front line, I know we're not like at the hospital or anything, but it's really nice to see.
I think as well the Vietnamese people, because I just think, I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like if this was in the UK, it would be like Lord of the Flies, and there would be roaming gangs going around like stealing your toilet paper and your food. I don't think people would handle it as well. But I may be wrong. Maybe I'm making a wrong assumption, but I think the Vietnamese people are amazing, that it's like, okay, this is the situation, we deal with it.
Yeah.
I've not seen anyone
and you don't often see Vietnamese people lose their temper. You don't see anyone getting angry, raising their voice. Nobody looks like this is a problem. Everyone just deals with it, and I think that's just testament to Vietnam, and also to the Vietnamese authorities that they've done this, and they've it seems like they've locked it down, and the infection in Vietnam, I think today was 193. I think I read this morning.
93.
193.
That is 79. I don't know.
All right, well, we're in the high 100s regardless, so that's still pretty amazing. All right, we got 3 things, Anastasia.
My thing is good chance to take it easy, to learn how to accept life situations. We are not the owners of this world, and not even the owner of our lives right now. So we just need to learn how to accept and behave in the way what is good for everyone. Don't make any complaint or trouble that also upset yourself first, stress yours, your family, your people who take care about you. So I learned to not complain much about the situation I am to my family, to my mom first of all, to not hurt her, because it's many people around us in the worst conditions. So we must be lucky that we're safe. They take care about us as much as they can for the country we are here. And as I mentioned, if I were in Ukraine and similar situation, it would be not much better condition of treating the people, maybe even worse. But it would be my shit, so I'm familiar with it. So just handling something different way, it's also good for life experience. It's a unique life experience. You can write a book after that. Yes, making new friends, appreciate the people around you who are trying their best. I heard that most of them are volunteers, so they're not paid, and they put themselves in the risk, and they're still smiling, and they don't run away, they don't freak out about you, they still come to you every single day, a few times a day, say hello. They remember our meal preferences, that we have a vegetarian. So to know more deeply the people that we live in the country is very, very good, because we're so busy with work and we just, day-to-day life is the same. But to attach again to local people, to understand their beautiful hearts and their efforts, is also very good positive thing. And the most important thing, we're lucky to get soon that medical certificate that we're negative for the COVID-19. Not everyone in this world can get it.
Yeah, so we've had one COVID test so far. We hope to get another one, and apparently we get a certificate at the end of a clean bill of health, which we're all going to frame. Yeah. And I'm going to hang it around my neck and just walk about with it so people can see it. Yeah, just wave it about. And just some of the kind of common questions I've had from some friends, they've kind of asked, like, are there many soldiers here? Is it military prison? Or is it it's not like that at all. Like, we haven't even really seen any soldiers. There's some people in green uniform, but they don't seem like soldiers. They seem like teenagers. There's people in blue uniforms or blue PPE outfits that they don't seem like soldiers either. There's no one going about with guns. That's, I got asked that question as well by a friend. Like, we're not like physically kept in. There's not like, if we wanted to jump the fence and go, we probably could, but we're probably not going to get very far, and we'd get.
I wouldn't recommend it.
No, I know, yeah, but I'm saying it's not like there's a guard there at the door with a gun. It's everyone just knows what they have to do.
It's only one in the airport.
One in the airport, yeah.
One who was in immigration.
Right.
Yeah, it's only
which
one.
I think they're normally
Yeah,
anyway.
so
I think they're
that's
every
normal.
day anyway. So yeah, just again, common questions. Foreigners and locals, I think we get treated the same. From this facility anyway, it doesn't really seem to be treated that differently. We get fed 3 times a day. We get water. We have toilet paper.
We have Wi-Fi.
We have Wi-Fi. So if anyone does have any questions, you know where to go. The 7 Million Bikes Facebook page. You can send us a message there. We'll be happy to answer any questions, because we don't have anything else to do.
Especially in the next 5 days.
Yeah, we got 5 days left. So I think that's us finished. I hope you enjoyed that. I'm going to try and maybe, if I can get the technology to work, do another episode. I'm maybe going to try and do it on the phone with somebody. And hopefully we'll get some more perspectives of how life is right now around the world or in Vietnam from someone. Because everyone right now, I think we mentioned earlier, is having their own unique experience. This is unprecedented. No one knows what the hell's going on, but I think I've said it before, we'll get through it together. So, thanks for listening, and
stay safe and healthy.
There you go. Stay safe and healthy. Adrie, finish it off for us.
Hashtag stay the fuck home.
Hey! I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you're like me, you may use your laptop at places where you have to use public Wi-Fi. This opens you up to digital snoopers. It's a massive problem. It can be your internet service provider, or you know who, looking at what you do online, or a cyber criminal trying to steal your bank passwords or credit card info, or even a hacker at the next table trying to steal your sensitive data. These days, it is vital that you keep your data safe. NordVPN keeps all of these snoopers away. It makes your internet activity private, protects you from accessing dangerous websites that are phishing for your data, and lets you enjoy your favorite content securely, even while away from home. And it's easy to use, even I could use it. I've actually been using NordVPN for years now here in Vietnam, and I'm excited to be an affiliate partner with them. I've used NordVPN to watch Netflix, BBC, Disney Plus with ease, and I also know that my information and data are safe from prying eyes, whoever they may be. Join now and you'll get 68% off and 3 months free when you go to my link, nordvpn.com/SMB. Just again, for those hard of hearing, nordvpn.com/SMB. The link is also in the show notes. I know nobody checks them out, but go check that out and you can get the link from wherever you're listening to this podcast. As an affiliate partner, it also means that I will get a small commission when you sign up, but at no extra cost to you. So not only will you be getting a great deal through 7 Million Bikes, you get a great VPN and you'll be supporting 7 Million Bikes podcast. Stay safe online and enjoy the shows you love. Any questions, just let me know. You know how to get in touch with me. And thanks for listening to this show. Cheers.